Hello. Hello. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. So I hope you guys are doing fine.
Yeah, going on.
Hmm?
Yeah, things are going good, sir.
Yeah, going good. That's good. Yeah, there are some people who have written to me that they or their near, very near families are suffering from this COVID. I mean, that's very unfortunate. And mm, yeah, I hope that they will recover soon. And yeah, so in case you are, you are facing some trouble of the similar kind, you or your very close family members are having COVID, and don't you don't need to really worry about this course. Take your time. The most important thing is to get yourself uh, fit and recover from this one. I know that this is a tough time, and whatever things that has can like assignments and exams and all, we can take care of it later on. Don't worry about that. Okay, so if you are actually struggling because of any of those kind of stuff, you really don't need to stress about this course, or in fact any course for that matter. Take care of your health, take care of your family, and that's the most important thing at this point. But if you are not struggling, if you are fine and all, do try to concentrate on whatever is concentrate on your courses and all, because you never know what will strike home. Okay, so having said that, so I know that there was an assignment due yesterday. While many of you have submitted it, I can take a look at it actually, how many of you have submitted it. But then there are many of you who have also kind of asked for an extension, saying that you are struggling because of COVID. I have, again, I will happy to give you the extension. That's not a problem. Yeah. So most of you have handed in. Only some few of you have not handed in, which is kind of understandable. Okay. So if you can, and if you are struggling because of some reason, just try to send a message so that we have some kind of a tab on that. In fact, I would really request you, if you are struggling with suffering from COVID, or your family is suffering from COVID and which is disturbing you, which is natural, to not only mail me, but also inform all the faculty as well as the dean, so that things can be taken care of accordingly. Okay. Yeah. So having said that, any other questions? Any questions so far on whatever has been done so far? We were doing things like that. We did the DFS thing in the last class. Did you guys manage to go over it? There was 2 tutorials also on Saturday and Monday. I don't know how many of you have attended that. Okay.
Yeah,
Any?
we were around. Yeah, we were like in the first tutorial we were around 18 people, sir, and the
Okay,
second one we were around 10 to 12 people. So people are coming to the tutorials actually. So
okay, that's very good. Yeah, come to the tutorial, ask questions, ask your doubts, clear up your doubts. Okay, discuss the problem sets and so on. As we discussed, so today we will be doing some more of the graph algorithms stuff and its applications. Yeah.
No. Yes, sir. I was listening.
Yeah. So and and we will also be posting another set of problem sets, not assignments, the problem sets for you to go and try and try to solve them in your spare time and in your home, and come back and discuss those stuffs with us. We will be also be giving you an assignment sometime, maybe end of this week or sometime later, early next week. Again, be as due in some time. Also, there is the exam in the end of May. We have not scheduled it. Okay, so it will be. So I hope that all the other teachers have informed you guys about all the necessary stuff that has to be done. In particular, there is the there on from the 24th to 29th is a evaluation week, so there will be no classes at that on that week, the last week of May, and instead we will, if some of us might want to do an evaluation by mid-sem kind of stuff, or they can use an assignment, or they can use Viva or whatever they want. Every instructor should be informing you individually what they want to do. For this course, there will be an exam. Okay. Now, I will ask you guys, whoever, if you guys can just discuss among yourselves, have a mail exchange with yourselves or something, and give me one slot. Okay, it will be a 3-hour slot or 4-hour slot where you want to do this assignment, this exam. Okay, so you guys are not familiar with this one, possibly because you did not take any of these courses, any of this exams, online exam kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe some of you have done. So basically, idea is that there will be in Google Classroom. Things will be posted. The mid-sem will be posted. It will be available to you at a certain time. You will have 4 hours. You have to solve it, take a photo, write it up in a pen and paper, or in a type it up in whatever way you want, and upload either the scanned copy of that document to the Google Classroom. Okay, I will be online, or I or the TAs will be online in Zoom. Whenever you guys want, you guys can ask us some questions. We will also be available. So there will be one such exam, and I request you to please give me a date for that exam. By the way, again, let me repeat it once. Okay, there are people, or there will be people who will be struggling to take the exam at that time because of this COVID situation. They will be struggling because of they being suffering from the COVID or something else. Okay, so for those people, there will be a makeup exam later on. Okay, but that is, for people who are not struggling with COVID and such issues, don't even think of trying to take the second exam. So basically, I'm saying there will be 2 exams, one in this week on the 24th to 29th, and one possibly sometime couple of weeks later or something like that. The idea is that the hope is that every student will be, the students who will not be medically or mentally fine in the first week, first exam, would have recovered by the second exam. Now, if you think that, oh, I am fine, but it will be good to take the exam later on, you never know what will happen by that time, right? It might be that you are fine now, you might get a COVID later on. So don't even think of it. So if you are fit and fine, take the first exam. If you are not fit and fine, don't worry. You don't have to take the exam in a sick state, in a when you are not being able to concentrate fully or something. Okay, wait for it. There will be another exam. Okay, is the protocol fine?
So the exam will be of 3 hours or 4 hours?
Usually I am not too worried about the timing, so I can give you. So it will be 4 hours. It will be kind of a 3-hour thing and 1 hour for kind of. There are some network issues and all those kind of stuff.
From 24 to 29.
Sorry.
24 to 20, and between 24 to 29, right?
Something, yeah, anytime. you can find out. I mean, even if it is a midnight, I don't mind. Yeah, somebody was asking something. Hello.
No, sir. I'm asking. I was asking the date of our exam.
That you
That's
okay. That you
yes, yes.
that you guys tell me know. Okay. Yeah, just know. Let me know in sometime in advance, so that things can be scheduled accordingly. Okay. So okay, good. So good. So any questions? Any questions about the course, whatever has been done in the course, any of those kind of stuff? No questions whatsoever?
Sir, in the exam, there will be coding part also, or
No, there will be
just,
no coding part. There will be no coding part in the exam.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. I mean, in the exam, you will be asked algorithms, or you have to give some lower bounds kind of stuff like that. So if you have asked algorithms, you are supposed to give a pseudocode and also explain the algorithm in words to some level. Okay. So kind of the, I mean, the proof of correctness is there. I mean, now as we discussed last time, I mean, this is a very, I mean, many of you might say, what is proof of correctness? How much proof of correctness do you have to give? I mean, think of it as an as a proof. Okay. Now I mean, so depending on what you are doing, what the algorithm is doing, if the algorithm is doing something very trivial or something that is obvious, you don't need to give the proof. If it is doing something where it is not very clear why you are doing that, you have to give the proof. I mean, that's basically how you should think about it. Okay, so you have to give the. I will let you know more about this, what to do in the exam later on. But the reason I'm telling you now is that even now, when you practice with this thing. Whenever an algorithm is asked, you should be able to explain the algorithms in your word, give a proof of correctness as well as the proof of the complexity. A proof of correctness doesn't necessarily always has to be a very boring kind of stuff. It is like you are explaining to your friend why is the proof correct. Okay, and you have to tell it. Okay, so if there are some sentences or parts in the proof that are obvious, you don't do it. If there is something that is complicated, then you explain it. Fine. And then there is the complexity part that you have to do here, and you also have to write a pseudocode. Pseudocode is not code exactly. We don't really worry about the syntax and everything. Okay, but it is something that you have already seen. I mean, the way in which I kind of define the algorithms and all. That's the pseudocode.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in this exam, it will type or it will be handwritten exam will be considered.
Handwritten is fine. You can you can write it up in hand and you can scan it and post it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If you want to type, that also is fine. I know many people who prefer typing than writing in.
Okay, sir.
And it will be I mean, marks.
That will be a 30 marks.
30 marks.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, any questions so far? Technical questions? Nobody have any technical questions? Did you guys go over the DFS algorithm?
So can we discuss? I have not even discussed. I have a question about yesterday's assignment. Can we talk about that for like 5 minutes?
Can you just tell me? Yeah, quickly tell me.
Yeah. So I think it was the question where we had to sort it in O of n. It was the fourth question. Just give me a minute. Yeah, it was. 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah. So it was question number 3, sir. Given an array A of length n such that each element is in the range of O0 to n cube minus 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that, so first when I was trying an approach and I ended up with the n log n thing, and then I felt okay, instead of, so the approach is this radix sort. It's something similar to radix sort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there, can we do this? Like, so what we tried was basically, instead of base 10, try when you are given an n, do it with base n.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, that's fine, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. No, I was having a issue with it, like whether how that would affect the.
Yeah, you do the calculations properly.
Oh
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
can do that. Okay, I don't really want to discuss the kind of things in the assignment at this point.
Sure, sir.
Okay, I would prefer that if you have any doubts, you can write to the TAs.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
because there's two reasons. First of all, some of you have not yet submitted,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
and secondly, the tutorial is exactly there so that you can work out
so
those
probably next week or this Saturday I can.
things. Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about DFS? What about the graph algorithm? Any questions so far? It doesn't seem so. Okay, so let me share my screen. I just want to know actually, how can you just maybe let me just unshare it and ask how many of you, can you in your chat quickly raise hands or something, or not chat, we can you raise hands and say how many of you have gone over this DFS algorithm? Okay, this is not a very good thing. Okay, I mean, I know that you guys are struggling because of various things, but not going over an algorithm that has been done is not helping. I mean, in that case, why am I even teaching? I don't understand this one. Only some 8 of you kind of raised your hand. Why am I even teaching? I could have just referred to your book and I'll go and read it from the book. All that you care is basically some all that you care is some how will you get marks in some assignment or marks in and mid-sem. That can be taken care of. Okay, I mean, this is very, very unfortunate. I mean, I don't know what am I going to do now. I mean, this is not going to help. But anyways, I mean, I will kind of almost have a blind eye to people who have not gone over it, and nothing much I can do. I mean, this is something that I don't think there is any excuse for this. Okay, so basically, yeah. So we did DFS, and so here is the quick thing about DFS that was done when we do from a particular vertex H. This is the DFS from the case of the directed graph. We start from H, we put it in the stack, and we kind of try to go as far as we can. We go to G as soon as we see something, we put it in this stack, and we keep on going till we cannot go any further. Like we put B and put A, right? Now, when we are done, at any point of time, we look at the top thing in the stack and find out whether there is anything anywhere else I can go. If not, then I know that, okay, then I'm done. I will pop it out from the stack, color it red, and go to the, I mean, and then I will kind of pop it red and just, that is it, right? So that means that in the top of the stack now, what I have is the previous one to the last one that I've seen. And I pop it, and again I see that, oh, there's nothing else to be done. Fine. Then I see that the next one on the top of this tag is E, and that has a edge, and that edge is say D. So D is an edge, so I now go to D as to. Now when I am at here, I pop out the D, and I see, is there any edge to anywhere? And we said, oh, there's an edge to A, but A is done, A is marked. Okay, what happens to edge to, is there any other edge? Yes, there's an edge to B, but edge is B is marked. And okay, fine, that means there is nothing to be done. So D doesn't have any new neighbor that is not marked. And at that time, I am done with D, and I am mark it red and go off. And I basically do the same thing. Every time I take the one from the top of the stack, I see if I can go further. And basically it has a neighbor which is not yet reached. If it is the case, we take that one and put it in the stack, and else we basically just mark it red and move on. Right. And this is basically what we do for the DFS. Now here is an algorithm that has a lot of applications, and you can use this particular DFS algorithm, or any algorithm for that matter, of any traversal algorithm, to find out if there is a path from H to some other H. So is there a path from H to B? Yes. You do this H, you do that, and if there is a path, that means D should be in the tree or DFS tree starting from H, and so on. Right? Now, of course, we had talked about these various kind of edges, but I don't want to go over it right now. And the main idea is that, the main running time of this algorithm is a linear time algorithm. The main idea is that every edge is looked at once. Okay, particularly in the case of directed edges, every directed edge is looked at once, and that's it. So in fact, it is order V plus E. Okay, now this is where we stopped in the last class. We told that, okay, here is a problem, and I asked you guys to think about it. So now I know that at most 8 of you have thought about it, because only at most 8 of you have raised your hand. I mean, so here is the algorithm. Okay, here's the problem rather. So there are 8 kind of jobs to be done: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and there are certain set of rules. So A must be done before B and D. B must be done before C, D, and E, and so on and so forth. Now, question is that, can you give me an ordering of the jobs which will satisfy all the rules? Okay. Any idea how can you proceed with this one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, for a different job, we can assume that each job correspond to a node.
Okay.
And here the rule is A must be done after BA, then from B and D, then there exists an directed edge to A.
Okay, good. So let's see. So you are saying that first of all, you do is that you make it a graph. Okay, and this is something that you should always remember, and this is something that is most important thing to remember in algorithm course. Okay, if anything is there as a takeoff from this algorithms course, anything that you should always remember is that given a problem in algorithms, or given any problem where you have to have an algorithmic flavor, okay, you might get it in your office work, various office things and all, maybe some kind of research stuffs and all. The first thing you do is that you try to use one of the standard ways of representation. Okay, graph is a standard way of representation. So try to represent the problem in a graph. There are some other standard representations. If we get time, we will take a look at them, like the linear programs, satisfiability, CNF formulas, and so on and so forth. There are some standard rules, some standard ways in which a problem can be encoded. That problem might not have anything to do with looks like a graph or anything such things like that, but there is always a way of encoding, or most of the time there is a way of encoding it into a graph or something, and then you can ask a graph problem kind of stuff. So this is an important thing that usually we do in the discrete math course, and so if you have not done the discrete math course, you should try to do it. It's the modeling of the problem. Okay, given any problem, try to model it as a graph problem. Okay, so what do you do here? You can think of it that you can make. So I have this 8 graphs, 8 vertices corresponding to the 8 jobs, and now I have this rules, right? A must be done before, sorry, after B and D. So what I do is that I draw an edge. So if A has to be done after B, that means B, there must be an edge from B to A. Okay, if A must be done after D, then there must be an edge from D to A. Similarly, B must be done after C and D and E. Okay, so that there is an edge between. Then say G must be done before E, that means there must be an edge from G to E and G to F, right? And I basically complete the whole graph. And here is the graph that we get. Okay, so this is a graph that represents all the constraints. Okay, this represents all the constraints. Now, can you tell me what is it that we are looking in terms of the graph?
Which job we do first?
Sorry?
Ordering of the job.
Ordering of the job, right?
Yeah.
So what does ordering of the job means? I want to write the ordering of the jobs in such a way that if say if there is a job I that appears after job J, meaning job I is done after job J, what does it mean? There should not be any path from I to J. Right? If there's a path from I to J, that means I must be done before J.
Yes.
Right? So I must kind of order the jobs in a way such that there is no backward edges. Okay. So can you tell me first of all, is it always possible to find such a ordering?
No, if there is a loop, then it will be impossible.
If there is a
Cycle, sorry.
if there is a cycle, right? So for example, say you can see my thing, right? So if I have a job like this, okay, say a cycle like this, meaning I'm saying they do this or job A before job B before job C, and job C before job A. Then of course it's a cycle. You cannot. I mean, it's like typically like the chicken egg problem kind of stuff, right? I mean, there's no ordering whatsoever because there is a cycle. So it is important. So one thing that is very important in this problem is that there should not be, so the graph must be acyclic. This is a very important thing. If the graph is not acyclic, there is no way we are going anywhere. Okay. Now, if the graph is indeed acyclic, meaning graph does not have any cycle, then can you tell me what will be the first job that has to be done? Can you tell me what is the first job that has to be done?
the edge which has no edge coming. Which has no edge coming.
Okay, so you are saying that the first job, right? The first job is a vertex that has no incoming edges.
Indigree. Yes, sir.
No in degree. Okay, fine. No in degree. No in degree. Now, is it necessary that it always exists?
Yes,
If I
sir.
give you an acyclic graph, is it necessary that this always exists?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Lakshmikant Shah, are you there? Hello. Lakshmikant Shah, I cannot hear you. Okay. I cannot hear you. Okay. Mayank Deora?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So do you
Sir,
think that such a vertex always exists in a graph, in a cyclic graph?
Yes, sir. Otherwise, it would have cycle.
Otherwise, it will have cycle. Can you prove it?
Sir, I am thinking on it, but now I don't get the proof.
Okay. I mean, you are one of the persons who did not raise your hand. That means you have not gone over the proof also, right? TFS.
Sir, I actually studied it before also.
Okay, you have studied it before, so then this problem should be easy to you for you.
Yes, sir. The proof is I don't get the proof right now.
Okay. Okay. I mean, so yeah. So proof. This is something I let you guys to go and prove that any acyclic graph has at least one vertex with no in degree or with in degree 0. With in degree 0. Prove it. This is not an algorithm space proof. This is a pure discrete math proof. Okay, good. So there must be a vertex with no in degrees, right? So that can you find out? Okay, let me quickly ask someone else actually. Nitesh Kumar Singh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so if there is no, if I mean, assuming that this statement, right? That
Yeah.
statement. Can you find out whether a graph has? I mean, can you identify a vertex that has no in degree 0? To give you
In
a
the
graph.
Yes, sir.
How?
So by identify, you mean by looking at the graph, right?
Yeah, you look at the graph. I give you the graph, and you have to give me a vertex, which says that it has no in degree 0. I give you a graph, and you have to tell me in linear time whether the graph has give me a vertex that has in degree 0. What happened? Nitish Kumar Singh, are you there?
Sir, yes, sir. Sir,
I cannot hear you.
sir, I can't think at the moment about this.
Okay. Shiva Kumar?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Go through the like graph is given to us as adjacency list, right?
Yes, government is given to us as agency list.
So like go through the vertices and find like where the in degree is 0.
Okay, how do I do that? How do I know the integrity of a vertex?
Like find the like each adjacency each vertex will have sublist, right? Like
But that's the out degree.
sorry.
Each vertex has a set of neighbors which are basically out degree. Right? That will give you the out degree.
Oh.
If it is given is as adjacency matrix,
No, it is given in the adjacency list. If it is given in the adjacency matrix, I can see how it. I mean, this is a very easy thing to do. I agree.
Actually, then we can go over this out degree. I mean, each subvertices and try to see whether the actual vertices have been mapped or not.
Can you repeat once again?
Like there were two. Like there is one array consists of vertices, and there are sub arrays consists of out degree listings, right, for each vertex.
Right.
Like, so go through this each sub arrays which are out degree. So find the vertex. There is no. I mean, no vertex is mapped. I think we need to go over the lists where no vertex is mapped. Sorry, not clear.
Not clear. Gary, Rani, Rene.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That vertex won't exist in any adjacency list.
Yes. How do I check that? Yes. Good. So that vertex will not be there in any adjacency list. I agree.
Yeah.
But how do I find out?
I'll have to go through the. We'll have to. How do we say this? What's the? I mean, how much time should it do it in?
Linear.
Okay, so I'll have to traverse each and every vertex and then check each and every adjacency list.
Okay, and then
so I can keep a tab of on which let's say vertex has been seen.
Yeah, I think you understand it at least, and I can tell you. Yeah, right. So basically, you have this adjacency list, right? What you do is that you go over all of them. If it is 10, 1, 3, 2, you go to the 10th one and mark it as red. You go to the first one and mark it as something red. You go to the third one and mark it as red. You go to the second one and mark it as red, right? And you do it for every possible adjacency list. At the end of the day, there are some of them here has been marked red, right? And some of the things that have been marked red, that they are already in the adjacency list. So if anything that has not been marked red, that means that vertex is not there in any of the adjacency list. So after I have gone over all the adjacency list, I will just walk down this whole array and find out which one has not been marked red. Now we know that at least one of them will not be marked red, and that would be the vertex that we can output. There might be multiple vertices. Okay, somebody told that, Aditya Shankarpal, you told that run DFS. Now DFS from what? In a directed graph, what does mean run DFS? Okay, you cannot run DFS. You have to find out which from DFS from which vertex, right? And you might say, oh, okay, why don't you run DFS from all the vertices? But then that is not linear. That is quadratic, right? So running DFS is not a solution here. Okay. So you have to go over the whole list, mark them, and then try to identify the vertex that has that has not been marked. Okay. Good. So once
So if pointed to the parent is, previous node is, I do have, then I can just backtrack the edges and I'll reach up to that particular node.
But I don't have a backtracking thing, right?
Okay.
Okay, there's another way that you can do. Okay?
Sir, you
yeah.
Sir, you'll eventually exhaust all the vertices, right? And if you do not, then then it contains a cycle.
Backtracking.
Sorry, sir, I did not get you.
No, what you're saying, you will eventually exhaust.
Once you you start from some vertex,
yes,
and follow the outgoing edges, and you will eventually traverse the whole graph and exhaust all the vertices.
No. Why will you eventually traverse the whole graph?
If I am
for
assuming
example,
that
here I start from C. I go to B, I'll go to A, and I'm done. But none of the C, B, or A has integrity 0. It is not the out degree, it's in degree. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
you cannot just go and just trying to find out, okay? Because it's the in degree, not the out degree. I can start from a vertex and I can go ahead and I will get. So maybe many of you are thinking in the out degree point, okay? Now, if there is an out degree is 0 or not, find a vertex. So just like I wrote here that there is a vertex of in degree 0, you can also prove that there is a vertex of out degree 0. Okay, you can also prove the same thing, that there is a vertex of out degree 0 also. Now, if I had asked you to find a vertex of out degree 0, then there were some easy solutions. Okay, number one solution is what you just now told: start from any vertex and go. And at some point of time,
so what I was trying to say is, like, you start with an acyclic graph,
yes,
and assume that it does not have an in degree 0 vertex, and then you then you try to traverse.
No, are you giving a proof that there is an in degree 0 vertex, or are you finding a?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying.
No, but I was not asking for a proof of this one. I was asking for finding one. The proof I did not discuss here. Okay, my job was that I will give you a graph. The proof exists. I mean, this statement exists. Okay, so there is a vertex of in degree 0. But how do you find a vertex of in degree 0? And your argument is not going to give you a vertex of in degree 0. Okay. Your vertex is not going to give you a vertex of in degree 0. And in fact, your proof that you are trying to give is also not going to work. Think about it.
Sir,
yeah.
We may start from any vertex and traverse to its neighboring vertex. And ultimately, since the graph is a finite graph, we actually come to a vertex from which there is no neighboring vertex.
Correct. I completely agree.
And then we just traverse reverse back. If there is an incoming edge.
How do I reverse back?
If there is an incoming edge.
How do I know the incoming edge or not? That is not very easy. In an adjacency list, it is not very easy to find out whether there is an incoming edge or not. In an adjacency list, if I ask you that is there the vertex from is there a edge from I to j? That is easy. If I ask you, give me the third neighbor of I, third out neighbor of I, that is easy. But if I ask you, is there any edge going into I, then you don't know. Look at this one here, right?
Yes, your point is.
In an adjacency list, it is not very easy to backtrack that easily.
Some additional data structure is required.
Yeah, you can think of say that way. There's adjacent. If you have some additional data structure, then possibly you can do something. Okay, but one thing that you guys can do, and this is something where I think many of you are kind of saying, and here is another statement that I let you guys go and prove it. That okay, so given a graph G, you can construct G reverse, meaning all the edges are reversed. Okay, all edges are reversed. In order n plus m steps. Okay, and this I mean, of course, in the adjacency list only. Okay, so that means if I give you a graph and I ask you that what is the reverse graph, what does the reverse graph meaning? So you think of this graph. Now the reverse graph is the edge from A to D, A to B, B to D, okay, D to E, and so on. All the edges are reversed. Okay. In that case, you can produce the reverse graph in order n plus m steps. If you guys, any of you have thought about how to order the adjacency list in linear time, a problem that was given to you in the class to be thought about. Okay, this similar algorithm will give you this. Okay, so I can take a graph and I reverse the graph. Now that is interesting because in a graph, if G is a graph of in G, say V is a in degree 0 vertices, then what happens in the G reverse? Can somebody tell me what happens in G reverse?
Sir, will you please repeat the question?
Okay, if V is a vertex, so say V is in G, V has in degree 0. Now what happens? So in G reverse, what can I say? V has some kind of property.
Out degree 0.
Out degree 0. Right? So if I want to find a vertex in G that has in degree 0, this is another algorithm I can do. I first reverse the graph and then I find the vertex of out degree 0. Finding a vertex of out degree 0 is very easy. Either you can just walk down this whole thing and check for which of the neighboring list is 0. That's a simple one. Or if you want to do some more complicated stuff, is exactly what you guys were saying. Start from a vertex and go as far as you can go. And at some point of time, you will certainly stop. And that will be the out degree 0 vertex. Right? Are you fine with this? Okay, I'm not getting any answer. That means I'm hoping that you're fine.
Yes.
Okay, good. So after all this hard work, we can say that in linear time, you can identify a vertex of in degree 0. Okay. So here is the graph. In this graph, I mean, you can quickly see that H is a vertex of in degree 0.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
So in that ordering of adjacency list,
Mhm.
the can you go up a bit?
Yeah.
so that the main list, the one which has the vertices, is it considered ordered?
Yes, that is ordered. That is a RAM model. This vertex
Okay.
is a RAM model. This is an ordered one, you can think of.
So if it's ordered, then for every if we start from the begin, like the least one.
Yes, I
then,
start from here.
Then if we for every vertex in the adjacency list, we can add that node to the neighboring nodes of.
Are you giving me an proof of how to reverse the graph?
No, the one that we were talking about, the ordering of the adjacency list.
I mean, are you giving me a proof of the ordering of the adjacency list?
Not a proof, but like
or algorithm.
Yes.
How can you order the adjacency list in linear
Yes.
time?
Yes, sir.
Great. If you have a proof, that's very good. Okay, this was given to you some 3 classes ago. And is this the first time you're hearing this question?
No, I tried it last time, but I did it counting short. So that's n square.
That is n square. The question was in doing in linear time.
Yes.
Okay. Now exactly however you guys how you are thinking right now is the way to prove it. Okay.
Okay.
But again, I mean, Gary, this is something that I don't know how much I can say about this one. But this is a typical question. This is not an assignment question, right? This was not an assignment question, right?
Yes, sir.
This question you could not solve before. Makes complete sense. Why didn't you come to the tutorial and ask this question? I mean,
No, I thought that the previous one was correct. That's why I was like.
I mean, you knew it is linear or it is quadratic, right?
No, I thought that it was linear. Actually, I made a mistake. That's why.
Okay. But then even then, if something has been linear, you can come and just verify with the TAs. I mean, do you think that we are making a fool of ourselves by kind of organizing all of this kind of tutorials and all those things in the COVID time? And so that you guys don't give a damn about it? I mean, it is. So please come and use the tutor TAs. I mean, I don't know how much I can tell you these things. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, so whatever you are thinking right now is the right way to think about how to reverse the graph or how to order the graph. Okay, so coming back to here. So here H is the graph vertex that has integrity 0. What does it mean in terms of this graph? In terms of this ordering of the jobs?
It should start fast.
It should start first, right? And which is the one that should start last?
Which is out degree 0?
The out degree 0, right? But so can somebody among the people who have at least thought about it or something, can somebody see how we can, once we have this graph and we know that H is the vertex of integrity 0, how can we order the jobs? Anybody?
So if you have that vertex, then it's just a DFS.
You will do a DFS from
Yeah.
what? From H.
Yeah, and I have to
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me.
Sir, now only we have discussed how to find the vertex of in degree 0.
Right.
So we can use that and find the in degree of in degree 0 vertex.
Right.
So it is H. Now we can say it is H. So now we means for all the neighbors of H,
yeah,
we can means reduce the degree by 1 and then again find some in degree 0 vertex and
okay,
then
good.
choose that.
So that is one way of doing it. Very good. Very nice. So you are saying that you will find H. H has to be done now fast, right? So
Yes,
remove
sir.
H. Once I remove H, right, I have another acyclic graph. I find another vertex of in degree 0, and I know that that is the next one that has to be done, and I
Yes.
go on.
Yes, sir.
Is the algorithm fine with everybody? The algorithm is correct. Whatever ordering that you will get at the end is a correct ordering. Okay, no doubt. But Aditya, how much time did it take me to find out the vertex of in degree 0? How much time did it take it for me to find the vertex of in degree 0?
I think it is order of E.
It's order of E, right?
Yes, sir.
So now, for every time, I'll find out the H with the first in degree 0 with order H, E. I remove that vertex. The next one will take how much time? Another order E, or either E minus 1 or whatever you can want to say.
Yes, sir.
So what will I will remove that one? I'll take another one. How much time will it take? Again, E minus some constant, right?
So E square.
Not E square, it will be N times E.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, N times C. So it is not a linear algorithm. You are right. You gave me a correct algorithm. Okay, but that is not a linear algorithm. It's the slow algorithm. Okay. Yeah. Somebody else wants to take a shot at this?
We
Somebody?
can find the DFS tree.
Yeah.
That
I will
tree
DFS from I will do the DFS from H, okay, and define the DFS tree.
and that will give me an ordering.
How does a DFS tree give you an order?
I mean, it will trace.
DFS tree is a tree. What is the ordering means from there?
I mean, we can look at the edges, how they are connected.
No, so
okay.
if it is visited, then we'll put it in the array. I mean, in a reverse array. Then if we go on putting that, then it will give me a order. And that array will give me that order.
Array of what? If you put an array, what is array? Which array?
Array of suppose size n, size order of size of the vertex, and I am when I am lastly, I mean, going
Okay,
out
okay.
from
So
a vertex.
let's say. So many of you have, I think, either have got some idea of how to do it, or have seen it earlier and trying to kind of recollect it and all. And you're kind of correct that you do a DFS and you look at something and use the tree to, I mean, use the DFS to construct the ordering. Okay, but let's see. Okay, let's quickly go over this algorithm. Okay, that will be useful. Okay. Oh. Okay. Here, okay. So let's see. I have an H. Okay, I start from the DFS of H. Okay, and I do this DFS algorithm. Now look at here. Now, at this point of time, I am looking at A, right? A is the topmost vertex in this stack. A doesn't have anything else to go. What does it mean? That A has right now degree 0, right? There is nothing that follows, can be reached from A, right? So nothing that says that, oh, do me before A. So A says that, see, there's nothing that says that I should to do A before. If something has to be done before A, there should be. Can you see my screen now?
Oh, yes, sir.
Was it not visible sometimes?
It's visible.
Okay, well, I suddenly got a message saying that the participants can see your screen now, so I was a bit surprised. All of you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so at this time, there's nothing that I can reach from A. That is not yet, I mean, there's nothing that is there, right? I could not have a path from A to E because that would have a cycle. So that's not possible, right? Fine. So at this point, A, I should say that, oh, A is done. And when I say that A is done, that is the time when there's okay, that means A, I can do the last. A doesn't have to be done before anybody else. Now let's go to B. Now what does B say? Now we are at B. There is no other edge from B. What does it mean again? Other than A, which will be done later. So the A is the last one that will be done. Other than A, is there anything that has to be done before B? So there's nothing that you can reach to B beforehand. I mean from B, right? So B should be done next. And note that B therefore has no edges outside, right? So B gets finished. Now we come to E. At that time, what happens? Okay, E says that, okay, I cannot do E now because E, there is an edge going to D. That means D must be done before, I mean, after E, right? Now I am at this D. What happens? I see. I have edges to A, but A has already been, will be done later. I have fixed it. I have edges to B. I have already told that B will be done also later. So from D, there is nothing new that can be reached, right? So D therefore is the kind of the last thing that has to be done now among the set of things that has not been colored red, right? So D is, now I will basically, DFS will say that, okay, nothing to be, nowhere to go from D. So D should be marked as red. And basically says that D must be done after next. Now I come to E, again back to E. Now can I do E now? No, there is an edge C. What about C? Okay, from C again, there's nothing new that I can go. See, there I have nothing new that I can go. I can go to some other place, things, but they will be done later, right? So C will be marked red, and this. Now I go to E. From E, there is nothing that I can go to D, a new thing, right? So that means, okay, anything that I can reach from E, they will be done later on. So done. Now I go to G. Again, from G, I can go to F. So from F, there is nothing that is there that I cannot reach. New things, so they will be done. So F, and similarly G and H. So do you see what happened there? Here is an ordering. I should first do H, then do G, then do F, then do E, then do C, then D, then B, then A. Note that this is not a unique ordering. I could have changed a little bit here. Okay, possibly. But note that here, this ordering is a correct ordering. This is not obvious from the DFS tree, the red colored edges of the DFS tree. But what happened is that every time the vertex was colored or marked red, meaning at the time when a vertex was done, with no other vertex. So from a vertex, all the other vertices that I can reach to, okay, either have been colored red already, or there cannot be a vertex from when I was like looking at say B, or when I'm looking at say the C. Okay, there is an H to B, but there cannot be an H to G, because that would have given me a back edge, right? Since the graph is acyclic, there cannot be a back edge. So there is no back edge. So edges are only forward edges. Okay. And by now, I know that anything that I can reach from C, they have already been either been marked red, then they will be done later, or they will be new kind of stuff, and therefore I will do it. So every time a vertex is being marked red, that is the time I kind of ordered them in the reverse order according to that. So basically, if I do this topological sort, let me go for it. What I do is that I order according to when it is colored red. So back edge is found. What do I know? A back edge means it represents a cycle. A back edge is found will represent the cycle, and I will say, oh no, the graph that you have given me is not even acyclic, and that's it. So this is what we do for the topological sort. Okay. Now the runtime of the topological sort, nothing. It is basically the DFS algorithm, and that's it. Okay. Now, in terms of the correctness of the proof of the topological sort, I don't want to do it right now. Okay. I would in fact not even do it. Although this will be a part of your things that will be considered to be part of your subject of your syllabus. Okay. So what I will do is that I will ask you guys to go and read topological sort from any book you want and read the proof of the topological sort. I have given you the intuition behind why the topological sort should give you the correct thing. Okay, but the proof that when you ordered the vertices in the reverse order of when it is colored red, okay, when it is done, that is the correct ordering of the jobs. Okay, why is this true? Why is it formally? How can you prove the correctness? I would let you guys go and do it. Okay, in the tutorial I can ask the TAs to go over it if you guys want, but the correctness of the topological sort is something that I will not do formally in the class. But the intuition, is the intuition clear? Is it clear what was done? Note that a DFS algorithm gives you a tree, but the tree doesn't necessarily have a canonical ordering. So here the ordering is based on when that vertex was done with, when was it colored red. Okay. Any questions? Okay, how many of you are sleeping now? No questions whatsoever? Everybody understood everything? This is really outstanding, I must say.
Yes.
Yeah?
We do number at the time of forward pass or backward pass.
Now, which number?
We are basically in topological sort. We are basically giving the number to it.
We are giving the number to it when we are leaving that vertex. Okay, when the vertex basically appears in the stack for the last time. Okay, that is when I am doing it. That is, I'm ordering them accordingly. Okay, is it, I mean, any other question, any questions? Is it clear? Sammo, is it clear?
Yes.
No questions, everybody understood it? Wonderful.
Sir,
yeah.
will you just once again iterate what we have to actually prove for this proof of correctness?
So, I mean, what we do is that we are doing it. So there's a problem, right? Problem is what? You have to order them according to, I mean, you have to give an ordering, right?
Yeah.
And what we are doing is that we do the topological sort and we are sorting them based on the reverse order of when the graph, when the vertices are colored red, right? Why is that? Why does that give you a correct ordering? That gives you some ordering, but why is it a correct ordering?
Okay.
I mean, basically, if A is colored red
First time.
before B, not first time. One thing is colored red only once, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, in the whole ordering, it is the first one.
No, forget the first one, okay? But any vertex, like say D is colored red before C, right? D is colored red before C is colored red. Can you prove that there is no edge from C to D? That is what we want to prove, right?
Yeah.
If D is colored red before color C is colored red, there is no edge from C to D.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, no edge, colored red from sort C to, from D to C. D is colored red before C is colored red, then prove that there is no edge from D to C. Is it clear?
Basically, it is the property of topological.
Sorry?
It's the property of topological.
Property of the topological sort, yes, that is how the ordering is supposed to be. Right. In topological sort, the idea is that you output an ordering that satisfies this property. I have given you an ordering. Why is that ordering satisfies the property? Okay, not clear, I think. So what is the topology? What is the property of a y? So I have a graph, a directed graph, right? And I have an ordering of topological sort. Okay, so I have say xi1, then xin. What does it mean? So these are the vertices, or maybe I should write it as vi1 to vin. Okay, so this is an ordering. What does it mean? This means that if so maybe I should write it in this way. Okay, if vi is less than vj, meaning vi is for vj, then vj to vi is not in the edge set, right? There is no edge. So if there is an edge between this to this will mean that, so this is vi, this is vj. This would mean that vj must be done before vi. But in my ordering, I'm saying that you do vi before vj. So that cannot happen, right? Ordering, a proper ordering is the ordering like this, such that this happens. Is this clear? Homo?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is what the topological sort demands. Okay. Topological sort demands one such ordering, right? Topological sort doesn't have any kind of coloring business. Topological sort doesn't say that do DFS. No, topological sort just says that give me an ordering satisfying this property. Right. Now, what do we do? So we have done what? We have given you vi1 to vin such that, and I've given you this one, such that Vi is less than Vj implies that what? That means Vj is colored red before Vi is colored red, right? This is what we have done in this algorithm. That's what we are saying, that which as soon as something is being colored, I'm putting it in the before, right? So Vi and Vj is there, and okay, if Vj gets colored red first, then Vj should happen after Vi, right? So this is what we have done. But do you see that there is this difference? In one case, I am asking this thing, right? And one case, I am saying that this is my output. Why are these two outputs same? So what you need to prove, okay, maybe I mean, you are almost forcing me to give the proof now, but okay, fine. So what to show? What you have to show is that, so to show is that if Vi is less than Vj, then okay, Vj to Vi does not have an edge. What we have is that Vi to Vj, no, sorry, what we have is this one, right? What we have is this top one, that Vj is colored red before Vi is colored red. Okay, so this we know, and this is what we have to prove in DFS, right? And this is what you show. Now, maybe how do you show that? How do you prove that? Okay. So consider the time Vj is colored. Okay, if there is a path from Vj to Vi, what happens? So maybe this is the proof. Okay, here is the proof by contradiction. Okay, so let Vi is less than Vj implies, I will do this thing. Okay, implies this Vi is colored before Vj. What does it mean? Consider the time Vj is colored red. At that time, so okay, sorry, I made a mistake here. This is not how to write it. Okay, so I have to let this one, which means this, and I have to assume a contradiction. And since I am assuming a contradiction and say Vj to Vi is in this edge set. Okay, so this is my contradiction part. Okay, now consider the time Vj is colored red. Okay, what does it mean? What does it mean? At that time, if Vi is colored, okay, now here we are using this gray and blue. I don't know, you can say if gray, okay, that means not visited, then what happens? Then DFS will visit Vi instead of coloring Vj red. But if there is a path from Vj to Vi, which we are assuming, then when I am coloring it as red, at that time, right, if the Vi is not even visited once, then I would have visited that one and colored that one there red. And not color it red at the time, right? So this is not possible. Okay, so this is not possible. So that means that when Vj is colored red, Vi is what? Blue. That means Vi is blue, right? Now this is something, some fact that I can say again, okay? And this is something you can prove that this one, okay? So this basically will mean, okay, this is something I'm not proving it. You prove. Okay, you prove. Okay. So if this is red and this is on the top and Vi is blue, this will imply that there exists a path from Vi to Vj. There is a directed path from Vi to Vj. Okay, because basic idea is that, see, look at this one, look at any part of this whole thing. Okay, whatever is top and whatever is bottom, okay, or wherever it is, there is a path from G to C, there is a path from E to C, there is a path from H to E. In this stack, this is how it has been created. Okay, this is a fact of a DFS that you have to prove, that at any point of time, if the vertices are there in the stack, there is a path from the top, bottom, one of the any of, if Vi is below Vj, then there is a path from Vi to Vj. Okay, so there is a path from Vi to Vj. So therefore, I have a path from Vi to Vj. Okay, there is a path from Vi to Vj, and then I know that there is an edge from Vj to Vi. So that would imply that there exists a cycle. Again, this is a contradiction because we have assumed that the graph is acyclic. Okay, and that would be it. Is this clear? Shammo, Soumya?
Yes, sir. Any simple statement, proving it very difficult.
Proving it requires some amount of effort because it is not that obvious. Because see, I mean, topological sort wants something, you are giving something else. What the intuition is kind of understandable. Okay, this is how we are happy, but formally proving it will require some effort. So what I request you guys, I mean, I know my requests are completely useless. You guys always don't care about my requests, but that still I will do it. That please take up any book on algorithms and read the formal proof of topological sort. Okay, you will see what is the formal proof required. So what I have just described here is a intuition behind the topological sort, how DFS can be used in the topological sort. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I think this took quite some effort from, I mean, because, I mean, yeah, I don't know, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you guys are really not putting in your effort, I mean, I also don't feel like putting in my effort. I mean, as simple as that. So although I had thought of doing something else today also, brace for search, but I have not, but I don't think we have time for that. So if at all, if you guys had thought about this topological sort a bit before you came here, it would have helped a lot. I mean, but I don't think, I think I'm demanding too much from you guys to go over the stuff that has been done in the class. Anyway, so that is how much is it there today in terms of topological sort and DFS. please go over the proof of topological sort in any book. Okay, go over DFS. DFS is a beautiful stuff. And the next class we will go over breadth first search, another thing where we kind of do it based on not how far we can go, but we are trying to reach as many things as we can. And we will go over it in the next class over breadth first search. Okay. So before I go, any questions so far on this kind of stuff, on this topological sort? Okay. Okay, good. So let's stop the class now.
Time complexity of this algorithm will be order of V plus E.
Time complexity of DFS is V plus E, right?
Like this topological sort.
Yes. What did we do in the topological sort? What we did is just DFS, right? We have just done just DFS. That's it. We have just done DFS, and as and when the vertices is marked red, we are outputting it. The reverse order is what is there, right? So it is the time complexity of topological sort is exactly the time complexity of graph of DFS, and that is V plus E. Okay, of course, there is a previous one of finding the in degree 0 vertex, but that also is V plus E. The 2 V plus E is basically order V plus E. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions?
Sir, in the correctness of topological sort, so here we had a unique vertex that had n degree 0.
Yes.
Now, if we have multiple vertices with n degree 0 in the beginning,
yes,
then we will have to show also that does not matter from where we start the DFS search.
Yeah,
right?
you don't. I mean, if you do the proof that I just told, I mean the statement, right? That will automatically come in.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that is one key. Yeah. What happens if you have two vertices of in degree 0? Okay. In that case, if you start from one vertex, you will not even reach the last second vertex. Right. DFS will not even reach the second vertex. Then what? So the way in which DFS is done is that you start from a vertex, you do as much as you can do. Okay. Now, if after doing it, when my stack is empty, okay, when my stack is empty, so you imagine this way, right? Imagine the case when, say, at this point, say there is another edge, I, which is I to G. Okay. So that I to G, that means there is an edge from I to G. When I do the DFS from H, I will never reach I.
Yep.
And I will remain gray, not even blue, right?
Yep. Yep.
So at this time, every time the stacks get empty, I will go and find out, is there any vertex that has not been marked red yet? So there is this vertex I has not been marked red yet. Okay, in that case, I will do the DFS once again from I. Okay. Now I will not go over all of these vertices. Why? Because as soon as I go to a red vertex, I will stop. I will say, I assume that the red vertices are done.
Yep.
Okay. So there's nothing that I can reach because I mean, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can fix DF. You can do DFS accordingly. You start from a vertex, do DFS. When the stacks get empty, you check for if there any other vertices that is not colored red. Okay, in that case, start from DFS again from there, and go to all the vertices that are not colored red, and so on. Okay. But the finally output will be same. that of course I will be colored red after I is colored H, so I will be done before I is colored H, before H. Okay. So for DFS of for DFS of directed graphs, that there is this issue that it might be that from if you start from one vertex, you will not necessarily traverse the whole connected component. Okay.
So, sir, if there is more than one vertex with in degree 0, then what is the precedence between those two vertices?
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, right? There's two vertices of in degree 0. I mean, nothing is being said that you do this one before this, right? So those two vertices can be done in any way you want.
Basically, it is a task graph. Then there is no precedence between those two vertices.
So yeah, there's no precedence between those two vertices. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, once again, I'm requesting you guys to go over this proof of topological sort from a book. Okay, unless you read it from a book, I don't think you will be understanding the whole thing. In this thing in the online setting, I can only give you the insight and the high level ideas, and that's it. And you are requested to go and read this proof from the book formally. Any book, doesn't matter which book. Every book will have this topological sort as a subject. Okay, so let us stop this today's class. We will meet again on Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.